Not sure if my 32F boyfriend, 36M, might be cheating on me or if it's a misunderstanding. Relevant backstory. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 1 year. He has 3 children with another woman, and the two of them seem to have a decent relationship which I have never questioned. She and the kids live in another state, and when he goes to visit he stays with them and sleeps in the boys' room. I'm fine with this. I know she knows about me and staying with them allows him the maximum time with his children, so I've never balked about it or made any sort of issue of it. I have trusted him completely. Well, he has been staying with them over the holidays, and yesterday his ex posted a picture of the two of them smiling into the camera, with a caption along the lines of celebrating X number of years, heart, and an additional family photo. He hasn't commented or liked this post. He's not much of a social media person and doesn't like his personal life aired online, so I doubt he's seen this yet. His communication with me hasn't changed in the slightest. The language in the post is not specific but it is suggestive, but there's a chance that the post is geared more toward the two of them celebrating their friendship and their family. I don't know how it all works. Any other posts on her account tend to be more specific to the subject matter at hand. So either she has no idea how her post looks or she's being purposefully vague. I will see him the day after Christmas and I'm trying to organize my thoughts about this. I want to speak to him about it, but I don't want to accuse him of anything. We've had a great relationship and I will continue to trust him unless given solid reason not to. I want to give him the opportunity to explain. That being said, I feel gutted and fear the worst. I don't really know what I'm looking for here. I think I'm more trying to sort out what I'm feeling and I don't have many people to talk to about it. This is the first relationship that I've been comfortable and allowed myself to be vulnerable since I left my daughter's dad, and with this going on I'm starting to feel like an idiot. TLDR. A vague social media post made by my boyfriend's ex has me questioning the nature of their relationship and therefore our relationship. And here are the advice from this post before we go to update. From Forest Friend Bambi. I don't know enough to claim this with any certainty, but his ex might be trying to present more of a complete family to her family and friends. Especially possible as she has siblings she perceives as more successful than her. Another comment from previous RA Lurker. Several questions. First, have you met his children yet, or have you met this woman yet? If not, I think it would be time to meet his children and this woman. She knows of you and your relationship but clearly doesn't respect it or you. Second, are you friends on social media or follow each other? If you are, I would block her and or unfollow her. No reason to be following someone who doesn't respect you. She could have posted it knowing you'll see it and get upset. Some women are stubborn and believe they can worm their way back into a relationship. She may be jealous and realizes subconsciously that your relationship is serious and feels threatened by you. Talk to your boyfriend and tell him that it makes you feel uncomfortable. This comment is from Coco Sneeze. Talk with your boyfriend, but I wouldn't worry about the picture or caption. It's really vague, leaves a lot up to interpretation, and maybe that's her intention. Like you said, your boyfriend hasn't acted weird at all, the communication is the same etc. So try to push any doubts out of your mind, and then you can have a more relaxed conversation with your boyfriend. And OP replied, empty recycling bin, thank you. This is the kind of level-headed response I needed. This is my first healthy relationship ever and finding a productive way to deal with conflict is an all-new experience. I had a lot of issues with projection over the summer, and although I've been working hard to overcome that and I can feel myself backsliding with this. I'm jumping to conclusions with very limited information. Thanks again. This is a relatively minor issue, but for people who have no frame of reference for what healthy looks like, having someone just give a reminder to stay calm is a huge help. Update. So we talked about the posts. He seemed confused and said he hadn't seen the Facebook post. When I pointed out that he had liked it, he said he didn't remember doing it and asked what it said. I told him that the posts were highly suggestive that the two of them were a couple. I said that I worked to be very supportive and respectful of her role in his life, but that the posts made it seem like she didn't show the same respect for my role in his life. He agreed, and that he must have liked it on accident, that he shouldn't have done that and that he would talk to her. I asked him to let me know how it goes. All is fine because I'm confident he'll take care of it. That was 2 weeks ago, a couple of days after Christmas. His ex was driving his kids up to see him for New Year's. He works out of town, and since I hadn't heard anything from him about talking to her, and the posts and comments were still up, I brought it up again. I sent a message letting him know that while I trust him to handle it, I was uncomfortable with her coming up there without having it resolved, and that at the very least I'd like to know when he would talk to her. So I get a series of short messages I have to drag out of him, but he says he talked to her but he'd asked them to take them down. When I ask what she said, he says she just said okay. So I text him, so you said they weren't appropriate and she just said okay? And he says essentially, so now what? I'd like them taken down because they're a blatant slap in the face to our relationship, and yet again I'm leaving it in his hands to take care of, and he says he will. Well, while his kids are in town, he gets sick. So we don't have the opportunity to follow up or talk about anything. Once the kids leave and he's feeling a little better, we're texting and I bring it back up, how I hate being left in the dark and that I'm starting to feel really uncomfortable with the lack of communication and transparency. I send him a long text spilling my guts about it. He opens it and suddenly just stops replying. He left that message on read for 2 hours before I ask him if he's fallen back asleep. Turns out his kids caught what he had and he's driving out of state. That alone I'm fine with, but I told him he could at least have sent me a message to let me know, and his response was just that it was last minute. It's an 8-hour drive. He can't use Siri to send me a short message to let me know we'll finish the conversation later? I tell him that this is really important to me and I really want to talk about it soon. His reply, what's the issue exactly? And at that point I tell him that I've said all I can possibly say through text message and that we need to talk on the phone. So now his kids have been sick for the last week. We haven't talked. He's super hard to get a hold of and the 2 days he said he'd probably be able to call, he hasn't. I tell him I feel like I'm begging him for his time. He tells me I'm being silly and that he has 3 sick kids, and that it's been all consuming. We're going on 2 weeks now that this has been hanging over us. I have a child. I'm not mad that he's taking care of his sick kids at all, but I'm really upset about our communication over the last couple of weeks. We need to talk about it, but I can't get hold of him to talk about it. I haven't been sleeping well and I can't stop thinking about it, and I keep trying to convince myself that it's all just bad timing with trying to resolve this and everyone being sick, but the ongoing lack of communication is really starting to make me wonder if there's something going on. I've been waiting around for him to talk to his ex about these posts that make them seem like a couple, because I really need him to stand up for our relationship a little here, but I'm getting nothing from him. At this point I really want to message her directly and talk to her about it, but I'm so deep into it I don't know if it's a good idea. Am I out of line? I texted him today, the kids are getting better, he's looking for a place to stay in the next state he's working in, he's been posting articles on Facebook so I know he has some free time. I've been trying to keep myself busy but this is really, really important to me and it's hurting my feelings that he seems to be ignoring me. How long is appropriate to wait for things to level out before I sort of put my foot down about having this conversation? Since he's not talking to me about it, is it worth going right to his ex to talk about the actual posts? TL, DR, we haven't been able to resolve an issue in 2 weeks due to lack of communication. He says it's because he's been sick and then taking care of his sick kids, but I have a nagging feeling he's trying to avoid talking about it. Am I overthinking it? Update, I posted a short update comment below. I'm reading everyone's replies, I am just overwhelmed and feeling like a right dope. I'm also hanging out with my kiddo all day so she's the priority, but I will reply as I can and I will post a proper update when this is all resolved. Thanks everyone for taking the time and energy to give your opinions and experiences. Update 2, 115, see comment below. TL, DR it's over. Hey everyone. I've been going through all the replies and will reply as appropriate, but I'm hanging out with my kiddo today so it'll be sporadic. But while I'm making breakfast I'll give a super brief general reply to everyone. I'm not an idiot. I have a lot of trust issues and I wasn't willing to throw away a year-long relationship based on one situation that might have had an innocent explanation. I see now that that was a big might. Regardless of the fidelity, everyone here is right. He's treating me with disrespect and there's no reason he should be leaving me hanging for weeks. I can't ghost him, I have some of his stuff and I don't want to deal with any legal repercussions for not getting it back to him. However, when I woke up this morning, after reading through all of these replies I did pack it all up. This isn't the first time he's disregarded my feelings about something important to me and no, I don't think I deserve that. I will contact his ex, politely and respectfully. If nothing is going on, she won't care. If they are together then she deserves to know. I would absolutely want someone to tell me. Edit 115, update 2 in comments. Just a brief update here for anyone still thinking about it. Pretty much ghosting him, not that he's going to care. I accepted I was never going to get the answers I needed from him, so I bowed out. I changed the locks and my phone number. The only thing I have left to do is figure out what to do with his stuff. It's not particularly valuable, mostly work boots and clothes, and an inexpensive television. It's not quite a car full, but still too much actual stuff to mail anywhere. Tomorrow I'm going to call around and see if there's a place in town that will let me open a storage unit in someone else's name. Hoping to drop his shit and let them contact him. He's got a buddy in town that I could drop it off with, but I'd rather not get anyone else involved if I don't have to. Regardless, it's just stuff, and if I have to cram it in the basement closet for a while so I don't have to look at it, I will. I reached out to his kid's mom. They were together pretty much the whole time we were. She thought I was a friend from work. We haven't talked much. She's pretty shocked, although she said she had a feeling something was going on and is thankful I contacted her. She is taking some time to process things, and I just told her I'm here for her whenever she's ready. That's about it for now. Once things settle, I might do a proper update post. Right now I'm in this strange mix of feeling simultaneously sad and relieved, and I still have my own processing to do. In the event that this is it, thanks to everyone who took the time to get involved. I wasn't ready to really deal with this in my first post, but I was in the second. Sincerely couldn't have done this without everyone here. And now here's what Reddit Peps commented on the post. First, from Millennial Pink _03, it sounds like you are the side person in the relationship. Once, I was in a long-distance relationship with a long-term serious partner, now ex. I came to visit him and his family in his hometown, and we went on a little trip to the countryside together. When we got back, I saw a comment on a photo I'd just posted on IG of some countryside views. All it said was "view." I ignored/brushed it off initially. A day later, I finally had the time to check, and it was an Instagram DM from a woman I didn't know, asking if I was also dating ex. She then explained that for several days/a week, he had been super hard to get a hold of. He claimed he was sick, would turn off his phone really early in the evening, and say that he was out of town and was busy. She was unsatisfied with his incredibly vague explanations and frankly completely random dropping off the face of the planet for half days at a time. She suspected something was up and then went looking on the internet and found a photo of the two of us, watched my IG stories of us together on our countryside getaway, and decided to contact me. She said that she was basically laying awake all night the day she sent me that DM, waiting for shit to hit the fan and hoping that I gave him hell. I was in bed with him at the time and it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I bolted straight upright and texted her for a bit, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. She sent me a photo of the two of them together on a little weekend trip, and I recognized the background as the same backdrop he'd provided to me when I was apart from him, under the guise of a business trip. We then find out jointly that she was the side person and had no idea that I'd already existed for a number of years. She'd mentioned that there were little tiny red flags here and there. She'd seen photos of us on social media, but she brushed them off as him having female friends and didn't want to flip out, as of course he's allowed to have female friends, and wanted to be cool as they'd only been together for 6 or 7 months. When you meet someone new, there's really no reason to be so suspicious unless they give you a reason to be. Naturally. And of course you want to believe the best in people. Believe people are well-intentioned and good, until they prove that they're not. I am not saying that you should be suspicious of everyone when you meet them and expect the worst. I definitely still expect people's baseline to be well-intentioned, even after all of this. But if your gut feeling is telling you that something is not right, despite a deeply rooted desire to believe the best of someone who has become so close to you, it might be worth it to investigate. Additionally, it's very easy to deceive someone over text, particularly when the relationship is still fairly new, under a year, because you constantly question whether you're being crazy, or overbearing, or controlling. Both of you are still in that on your best behavior stage and haven't graduated to the point where you're comfortable calling each other out on suspicious behavior. She then said, "Can you even believe how much longer this charade would have gone on if you didn't have a public IG account? This was not the first time X had cheated on me. And the first time, the girl also was completely conscious of the possibility that I might not believe her. She begged me to believe her and swore up and down that it was all true, apologizing to me if she had hurt me with telling me the truth. After confrontation, he did not deny any of it. I believe I would have found out eventually, whether it was this woman or another woman a month, a year, down the line, but her coming to me at the time that she did sure saved me a lot of time. In your situation, even if he weren't being deceptive, The fact that he's dismissive of something you're clearly distraught about is frankly disturbing and doesn't make the situation any better. At worst, he's having two deceptive relationships. At best, he's callous and flippant about your feelings. And this one from Evie_ST_Claire, are you 100% sure he's single and she knows you're his GF? Edit, the more I read of your replies, you are definitely the side piece. They are together. You don't post something with your ex saying celebrating X years together and have people tell you what a great couple you are. He is with her and you are being played. You've never met her or the kids, you only have his word that she knows about you. Come on. Next is from Backseat_Adventurer, I'm really sorry this is such a mess. I'm even more sorry that your boyfriend is making this even more of an ordeal. What you have to do now is stop waiting for his words and look at his actions. At every turn he's shown you that you aren't a priority. He's shown you he's not willing to have difficult talks with his ex about reasonable boundaries. He's not even willing to postpone his Facebook posts to spend 5 minutes texting you or calling you. Or give you a heads up that plans have changed. There is no care, consideration or respect in anything he's doing. I strongly doubt there is any explanation that can make this long-term pattern of behavior less reprehensible. You've done everything to facilitate communications and you've been the one to make concessions. I don't think he's returned that effort or the consideration, and there is absolutely zero sign that this will change. I know it hurts to consider, but even the most heartfelt conversation will not fix this. Right now you are tying yourself into knots to be reasonable or the cool girlfriend. Stop bending over for this user. Where there is no respect, trust and reciprocation, there is no relationship. He's shown you he's only in it when it's convenient. Do you really want to be in a relationship where you come last? And last comment was from Crystalline Photo, he's such a liar. He doesn't remember liking it, how convenient. You say the ex-GF knows about you, but given that you haven't met her or his kids, are you just taking his word for it? I'm 99% sure you are the side piece and they're still together. Even if I'm wrong, he clearly doesn't prioritize your feelings and is gaslighting you into believing his behavior is normal and you're too emotional. At this point, you need to dig to find out for sure, because I feel like without proof you'll keep excusing the suspicious behavior. Message the ex, do some online sleuthing, see what you can find out. And after you find out he's a lying cheater, because you will, respect yourself and break up with him. And that's all for today, guys. See you on the next one.